All right, so as we move on, we're going to cover the angle bisector theorem. Again, angle bisector is something we've talked about. We're just going to meet a little differently. This is not definition of angle bisector. This is the angle bisector theorem, slightly different. So if a point, similar to the perpendicular bisector, if a point is on the angle bisector, then it is equidistant from the sides of the angle. So that's saying if F is on the angle bisector, which is BF, then it is equidistant to D and E. Therefore, DF is going to be congruent, in fact, to FE. So I know these two guys. And the nice thing is also it creates a perpendicular. It's great how that works. And if you also notice, of course, since it is an angle bisector, our two angles down here are going to be congruent. So DBF and FBE are congruent to each other. So let's take a look at the converse. Again, not too much different from the converse of perpendicular bisector. So if a point in the interior, so it's in between or inside of an angle, is equidistant from the sides of the angle, then it is on the bisector of the angle. So we are given, so if DF is congruent FE, then F is on the angle bisector. Not too bad. So let's take a look at some examples. So I have XY here. This is what I'm trying to find, this space here. And as we've just discovered, X is on my angle bisector because 41 is congruent to 41. These two angles are congruent to each other. Therefore, XW needs to be congruent to XY. So these are congruent. So that means XY is equal to 7. Okay. If we have our congruent marks here from JL being congruent to LM, that means it is on the angle bisector. So that means my angle is being bisected or cut in half. So I can say that these two angles are congruent. So angle JKL should be congruent to angle MKL. Don't forget your angle sign, MKL. So the measure of angle JKL should also be 37 degrees. And then SP here, again, we have notation showing us our angles are congruent. Angle bisector. So that means MS and SP should be congruent. Therefore, 3x plus 5 is equal to 6x minus 7. And we just need to solve for x first and then plug it back in. I'm going to bring that 7 over, and that's going to make this 12 equals 3x. 4 is equal to x. And for SP, we're going to do 6 times 4 minus 7. 6 times 4 is 24. Minus 7 is going to give us 16.